The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Cowboys StoryLine with Nick Eatman.
What is up, and welcome to Cowboys Storyline. I am Nick Eatman, and it is Wednesday, January the 10th. It's playoff week. It's not much else to say. We know what's at stake. We know what's happening here. A lot of people are worried about what the weather's going to be this week. It's going to be a cold front. Yeah, it's heating up. Forget all that. It's heating up here because it's playoff time. And it's Cowboys and Packers. I mean, 888-855-2297. That's the number to call. You can text at 817-290-3298. You guys know the numbers by now. You know the drill. We don't need to spend any more time on it. Let's go. Let's get to the phone line. There's no sense waiting around. Brian in Kansas City, you're first off. Let's go.
Hey, good morning, sir.
Morning, Brian. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. It's getting colder and colder here. Holy cow. I looked at I'm giving you the Mickey Spagnola weather report for Kansas City.
It's okay.
The game on Saturday,
Yeah.
the high is going to be like 5 degrees.
Yeah. Well,
I'm glad we're not traveling anywhere like that. I'll tell you that.
No, Cowboys get to play at home.
Yes, sir.
And that's good. They have earned it. So close the doors, close the windows.
Yes, sir. Hey, I got a good trivia question. This is a difficult trip. This is maybe harder than the Steelers trivia question I threw at you earlier this year.
All right.
So 1980, right? Staubach retires. Danny White takes over. They had a great year. They made it all the way to the championship game. They only had one All-Pro on that team. Who was it?
1980?
Yes, sir. Danny White. That's the first year Danny White starting at quarterback.
Oh, man. I mean, that was right in the middle of it. I just can't imagine. I can't imagine it not being Randy White.
So it is not Randy White. He was All-Pro in 81. This is a guy, I had to look it up. Herbert Scott. He was a left guard, and he was an All-Pro in 80 and 81.
Herb Scott. Okay.
Yes, sir. Hey, and then the question I wanted to have for you this morning is what's going to be the matchup you want to see in this game? The favorite thing you're looking for. Mine is CD against Jair Alexander.
Yeah.
And I'll hang up and listen to your answer, brother. Have a good one.
That's a good one right there. You know, that's the one thing. Thanks for the call, Brian. That's the one thing about this team that I keep looking at. You know, I kind of did a little research on the Packers, did a story that's on the website. You know, their storylines, 10 different things. I mean, 5 for each team, Cowboys and Packers. And one thing I noticed is that Green Bay just doesn't have a lot of great players. They just don't have a lot of guys that have had really good seasons. This isn't one where you look at it and go, man, stop him or block this guy or don't let him go crazy. And they just don't have that guy. They're one of the 4 teams in the league that don't have a Pro Bowler. That doesn't mean they can't win the game. Obviously, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that when you look at it, and one of the callers said it yesterday, and I think they've said it all for the last few weeks, that Cowboys don't beat themselves. Don't turn the ball over. Don't get blocked field goals. Don't do those kind of things that give teams short fields and things like that. And just take care of business because you should win this game. Jair Alexander's a guy that he's a really good corner. He's a good captain. He goes and he makes plays and he's a guy that I think can cover CD as good as anybody can. I mean, it's hard to do right now. He's playing so well, but I do think that's probably the best matchup. I would say. I think it's Rashawn Gary on the outside. He's got 9.5 sacks. They've got some guys that from the middle of the line that can make some plays too. So I would say it's Alexander versus CD Lamb or blocking those guys off the edge. You just got to make sure that they don't get free and you hit the quarterback and get a turnover and things like that. So that's probably the key. All right, let's go to Curtis in Oklahoma.
Hey, good morning.
Morning, Curtis. How are you doing?
Doing better than yesterday.
All right. That's always good.
180 tries I didn't get in.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, good job.
I got a lot, so I'll try to be as fast as possible.
You're fine. Go.
The first thing that I wanted to do was shout out a couple guys, Damone Clark and Marquise Bell. Started all 17 games. Both had close to 100 tackles. And I just think it's a huge nod to the administration and the team that we've built. I can remember having household names like Romo and Dez, but when you look up and down the line and you remember the days when you lost Sean Lee or Tyron Smith, and we just did not have a way to overcome that. And they've really built this team to deal with the inevitable injuries that are going to happen.
Right. Yeah.
The second thing is about the game this weekend. I really want to focus on the defense. I think that's going to be where we need to win this game. And something that I like, Jordan Love being a young quarterback, is Micah Parsons. Everybody knows he's an absolute force. So if you can move him across the line and give that young kid a lot to think about, and then, if they do a decent job on him, which is difficult, hopefully Osa and DeMarcus Lawrence, Fowler, those guys can cascade on through.
Yeah.
The last thing I got for you is a random Cowboy, and I'll see if you can remember why I'm bringing him up. How about Allen Hurns?
Allen Hurns. Good call. Thanks, Curtis. I'm trying to think what would be the association with Allen Hurns this week. I mean, I know the Cowboys had him, and he got hurt, obviously. Yeah, it wasn't my show that his mom called, and that was Hanging with the Boys. That was probably one of the funniest moments in the history of Cowboys podcast right there, when Kurt Daniels was talking to Allen Hurns' mother. But, unfortunate injury, didn't really play a whole lot. Was one of those receiver by committee type guys during that year, and they had to go get Amari Cooper. Yeah, you're right about the guys. Give the Cowboys credit for, withstanding injuries. I mean, everybody has them, so there's no excuses. We get that, but still losing an All-Pro corner in Trayvon Diggs and having Deron Bland in the Pro Bowl and setting records himself, and Stephon Gilmore playing well, and Jordan Lewis, stepping up. That was really big. And then, it hasn't been as easy to replace Leighton Vander Esch. And Clark's had some games, and Marquise Bell, they've had some moments where it wasn't so great, but, they hung in there and, like you said, made a lot of tackles. So still a position I think that they have to look at, maybe for next year, but still, it was really good the way the Cowboys kind of patched things together on that side of the ball. All right, text line question here. This is from Kirk in Victoria, BC. He says, in your opinion, what are Green Bay's biggest weaknesses? Lack of experience at quarterback or other offensive positions playing on the road? Joe Barry's somewhat suspect defense. I can't say I've watched them play a whole lot this year, and I don't even know if Jordan Love is. Lack of experience, fine. We think that's a problem until it's not, until he goes out there and lights it up. So, yes, he's inexperienced, but it's just like when Dak's first game. Dak kind of showed early in that game against Green Bay, inexperienced, and then he got hot, and that really wasn't the issue. So, I don't know about that. Like I said, I think it's probably just lack of weapons. Just a bunch of weapons. We saw it last year in the playoffs with the Cowboys when one guy got hurt, and they just didn't have a lot of offensive weapons to match the 49ers. And so here they are. The Packers going to have to match what the Cowboys have. You want to try to shut down CD? Good luck. No one's done it. But even if you can somewhat contain him, Ferguson's proven to be a playmaker. Brandon Cooks is a playmaker. Tony Pollard's a playmaker. So. The Cowboys just have a lot of weapons, and I think that's one thing that they'll have over Green Bay. And Green Bay's also got some banged up receivers right now as well. So, all right, let's go to Justin. He's in Lubbock, Texas.
Morning, sir. How are you today?
Hey, Justin. I'm doing good. What's up?
So yesterday when I was talking to you, when you answered my question, you ended with you were superstitious, and I am extremely superstitious. So I was just curious what some of yours are. My two biggest ones, I got a lot, but my two biggest ones are I have a Cowboys inflatable helmet that has to be inflated no more than 5 hours before kickoff. And if we don't do that, I feel like we're doomed and we're going to lose. And then secondly, if we have a successful drive going and it ends in a touchdown, I do not allow anyone in my family, not even my 5-year-old son, no one is to move until another drive doesn't end in a touchdown.
Nobody can move?
Nobody can move. It jinxes, man.
Okay.
Everybody's got to sit still. And
Okay, we're on little different levels there when it comes to superstitions and all that. Because actually, I don't really have something like that. I don't really have. I don't think I am superstitious. I'll take that back. I think what I don't like to get ahead of myself and say I believe in, like, you know, jinx and irony and things like that. If you said it and all of a sudden it happened, you know, things like that. I am a believer, though, and I can't do this on the press box. It just doesn't happen. But I am a believer if I'm watching a game on TV and I'm real nervous. If I turn the channel, like when I turn it back, good things is gonna happen. And so that's what I do.
Longhorns for me. Yep.
I turn it, or I'll turn it off and just walk around in the neighborhood if I need to do that. But it doesn't work in the press box. I just you just gotta sit there. So I don't know if I'm really that superstitious about things like that, because what I would look at that and I would say, wait, your son's gonna get old enough to go, Dad, we had the inflatable up for 5 hours and I didn't move and we still lost to Buffalo. So what's the deal? Why can't I go to the bathroom? So I don't know about that one. But hey, do your thing. If it works, it works. I get it. So.
Awesome, man. Well, you have a great day.
All right, Justin. Have a good one. All right, good stuff. All right, let's go. Keep it rolling here. We got John. He's in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Hey, good morning, Nick. Nick, listen, I really don't have a question or a story, but what I'm really looking for from you is some reassurance.
Okay.
As much to give. I have season tickets at Lambeau. They were left to me by my grandparents, who coincidentally was given. These season tickets were given to her by Bart Starr when they shared a hospital room in his rookie year when he got hurt up in Green Bay. So anyway, I've been at every game. The only game I miss is when Dak came in 2016. I was at workout in San Diego and I couldn't make that game, and of course that's the game we won. But going all the way back into the 90s, I've been to all those games, and every time we've lost. In fact, my brother-in-law offered to fly me down to Dallas this weekend and pay for my ticket if I go with, and I refused. So I know it's Green Bay. I know we have a better talent level, and the boogeyman, which is Aaron Rodgers, is gone. But whatever could go wrong seems to go wrong with that damn team. So That's why I'm calling.
Well, I'm confused. Do you go to every Green Bay game? Like every game?
No,
or just every Cowboys?
Every Cowboy game, yes.
Okay.
And it's right where they do the Lambeau Leap, too, so it's all around those rabid damn Packer fans.
Yeah. Well, hey, I mean, you're right. I mean, it's Green Bay has had the Cowboys' number. Aaron Rodgers has had their number. But remember this, though. It's not like they never beat Aaron Rodgers, too. I mean, they've beaten him. They in 2016, they beat him. 2008, they beat him there. They haven't had a lot of success at home against the Packers. And that was Matt Flynn as the quarterback for one of those games. So, how about this? Who's been beating the Cow? I mean, has it been the Packers? Has it been Mike McCarthy? Maybe he's the boogeyman. You know, I mean, maybe I don't know. I mean, like I said, Matt Flynn was winning, but McCarthy was coaching. So maybe the reassurance there is Mike McCarthy's on this side. This now, I don't know. I mean, I know
he is the one that threw the flag that Des caught it.
He sure did.
I was at that game too. So
he sure
you're right.
did. Hey, you can go back to all these games. The uniforms will look the same, but the talent is not. The Cowboys have a better roster. They're a better football team than the Packers. They've shown it all year long, and they're way better than their opponent when they play at home. So that's where it's going to be. It'll be cold on the outside. It'll be freaking hot, electric inside. The Cowboys will be a better football team. You don't go and mess it up and make turnover, create turnovers for the Packers and short fields and all that. They'll win the game. So
Nick, you're a good man. I appreciate you.
Okay.
That's all I needed.
All right, John. First time caller, I believe, for John, right? There you go, John. He didn't care about all that. He didn't care about first time caller. Didn't care about anything. He just said, "Man, walk me off the ledge here," because he's not feeling good about it. I hear you. All right. William in West Virginia, my man. William, what's up?
Hey, Nick, how we doing, sir?
Good. How you doing?
Hanging in there, doing all right. Since I can't classify for the first-time caller, the here we go. Well, maybe you can find a sound bite for me one day if I can get back in more regularly.
We got one for you, man. We got one for you when you're done. We got a the good callers get the Jimmy one. So go for it.
Oh, yeah.
You got it.
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, sir. You the man.
Warm it up, Chris. Hit it.
How about them Cowboys?
I'll tell you this before I get to my thing for the game there. I was watching the Detroit game, and my daughter was watching it with me, and she told me, she goes, she told her sister, she was, I'm seeing a grown man cry right now when I was watching that thing with Jimmy being put in the Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
And I said, you're daggone right, I'm crying. I said, I was thrilled to see it, be part of this. It was amazing.
Yeah, it really was. It was an awesome moment.
And the only thing of disappointment I had from that is when I tried to get on the pro shop and order one of the Ring of Honor shirts, they were already gone.
Oh.
So I keep stalking the pro shop to try to get one.
Yeah, well, they'll restock, I'm sure, because if it's sold out, they'll keep making it. They'll keep printing, I would imagine.
Oh yeah, but my take for the game is I'm really got a good feeling about it, and I think the biggest things I've really enjoyed this year, the two guys that have set the tone for me has been Tyron Smith playing as many games as he has. And Tank Lawrence. I think those guys have set the tone for me, and I think I for one have never took Tank Lawrence for granted. I think he's a consummate pro, and what he does and setting the tone on the defensive side of the ball, really, it's just I love seeing him out there, and he's rapidly moving up my list of one of my all-time favorite players of the team. I just want to get your take on that.
Yeah.
Good luck to us this week. And how about them Cowboys? Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go. All right. I love
How
it.
about them Cowboys?
Two Jimmy calls. There you go, William. That's my guy, man. He goes all the way back from the old school, man. He used to call all the time. It was just me and Derek on doing the shows, and he would call. All right. Tank Lawrence. Yeah, you got to have those guys, and it's kind of weird how things have gone in his career. He's had 14 sack season, maybe more than that. I mean, but he's had some where, he was a franchise tag player 2 years in a row, and he was making a lot of money. He still is. I mean, they're all making a lot of money, but he was kind of the guy. And then now with Micah here, and he's getting a little bit older, he's sort of the dirty work guy, and he makes plays. I mean, he's made some really great plays behind the line of scrimmage, tackles for loss, the last couple of years that have helped this team win games. So, yeah, he's turned into kind of that lunch pail guy, and I think a lot of people can appreciate that. He used to be the one front and center, the hot boys and all that stuff, and taking a little bit of a backseat to Micah. But I think from a leadership standpoint, he's still, a very big vocal leader for this team, and he's done it. He didn't make the Pro Bowl this year. Maybe he gets in, maybe he doesn't, as an alternate. I love the fact that people appreciate him, not just the fans, but players, teams around the league. I mean, he was voted into the Pro Bowl last year, and he only had a few sacks, 3 or 4 sacks there. So that just goes to show what people think about him, that there's more than just stats, and he is definitely one of those kind of guys. So, all right, phone lines are open right now, 888-855-2297. There's no 137 straight calls and all that. I think you can get in. If you want to get in, hit it. We are here. We got there was a text question earlier that from Kirk in Victoria, BC. He says his random player was Chris Schultz. Chris Schultz was about as random as it gets. The only Chris Schultz I could think of is a player.
I looked it up for you.
Hold on, Chris, because I used to have. I think he played in 1986. At least he was on the 86 team. I'm guessing number 66, Chris Schultz. 66?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Man.
And here's why. In 1986, I had the team poster on my walls. 10 years old. It was like from McDonald's or something like that. And it was the whole team. And I looked at that every single day. I knew every player on the team. I think Nate Newton was on there, and he wasn't even 61. He was like 67. He was like, I knew every single player on that team. I knew Manny Hendricks, Cornell Galdi. I mean, just guys that you probably forgotten if you even remember them at all. But yeah. So Chris Schultz, 1986. I think he wore number 66. I don't know if he played that much. So yeah, I didn't want you to think I glossed over that. But yeah, I don't know much. That's all I know.
A tackle out of Arizona.
All right, you got me on that one. Let's go with Kyle's in East Brunswick, New Jersey. He's got a text line question. Green Bay is the 5th worst run defense in the league. Do you see more early down runs for the Cowboys in order to get into more manageable down and distance situations? They kind of invite it the way that they play on defense. From what it seems like, they play a lot of zone. They're not trying to get beat deep down the field. So sort of when that happens, yeah, they're gonna give up some running plays. So yeah, I think the Cowboys are gonna do that. I mean, they always do that. The Cowboys will run the football, whether or not they're having a lot of success or not. So I don't think that changes. I think they're gonna try to run it to open up some of the passing game, and I think the Cowboys stick to the same game plan. And if Pollard is breaking some of these runs, I think that was big last week against Washington. If you look back, 7, 8, 9 on first down, sometimes 11. I mean, they were really moving the ball, running it there. And so I think if they can do that, it doesn't really matter who you play. If you can run the ball on first down or just keep it going, especially we know what they can do passing wise. If they run the football well, it's going to be tough for Green Bay. It really is. But that's going to be a key, and I'm sure the Cowboys are going to try to establish that. All right. Phone lines are not open anymore. We've got callers. We got Jesse. He's in Monroe, Washington. Jesse.
How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
This morning? Doing wonderful. You, sir? Long-time listener, first-time caller.
There we go.
In here, scary. Everybody's worried about Green Bay. Everybody's freaked out. We're the boys. We're going to go in. We've been stopping the run. We've been doing well against the run. Micah Parsons is playing the run. It's amazing to watch. I think we're going to go in and we're going to beat the heck out of these guys. I think there's going to be a game.
All right.
I think we go in, take care of business. We're going to get in 35-13. We're going to take care of business, and then we're going to go on to the next round. No problem.
All right. No problems. All right.
No problems. Here we go.
Here we go.
Okay, guys.
All right. Jesse. First time calling, didn't really have a point. Just wanted to say we're going to kick their ass. All right. Everybody listen to Jesse. I'm kind of agreeing with you on there. I really am. I'm trying to say, don't get too arrogant on this situation, and Packers are in the playoffs for a reason, but I really think that the Cowboys I just don't think it's a good matchup for them. I really don't. I think the Cowboys should take care of business, but if they don't, it's on them. But I think that they are. I think they're going to be focused. I think they're going to go out. They're going to execute. And if they do that, I think they're going to win. All right, let's go to Coach Joe. He's in San Antonio.
Good morning, Nick. How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good. First-time caller, by the way. Here we go. Down here in San Antonio, Cowboy country.
Yeah.
Been a Cowboy fan since the late 60s. My dad was a big fan, and I lost him when I was 8 years old. And the biggest memory I have of him is sitting down watching the Cowboys with him. And so that's why I'm still a fan.
Yeah.
It's a connection.
I love how
I look at it as a connection between him and I. And
that's great, man. That is so awesome.
Remember all the great Roger Staubach, Tony Dorsett, Aikman Irvin, Emmitt Smith teams, and everything in between. Have not been this excited in a long time for a Cowboys team. Looking forward to going a long way this year. And love listening to your show, love your articles. But I just wanted to say, best of luck to the Cowboys. Let's take care of business and one game at a time. Use all our weapons.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Pollard in the passing game, screen game a little bit more, maybe some counters and draws, things like that. Get him in the open space. CD keep doing his thing. Dak has been playing out of his mind the last, since the Frisco game, as everyone knows. But just keep that up. I'm very confident, and love your show, and best of luck to the Cowboys this year.
Awesome. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate that. another example that I say about, being a Cowboy fan chooses you. I love those stories because I can relate, because that's kind of what I remember. I remember same thing. I mean, I remember sitting there watching games with my dad. So he was a Cowboy fan. So was I. Simple as that. And and look at us now. And yeah, I mean, I don't feel guilty about being excited about it. I understand that fans are kind of hesitant, but this is why you do it. This is why you go through all those years. This is why you watch the draft. This is why you look at free agency. This is why you click on articles that say like NFL rumors, and just because you get all excited about what this team's going to be and all that, and then you finally have a season where they've played well and they've done a lot of great things and have a lot of exciting players too. And you know how many guys are leading the NFL in some categories? We're going to do an article on that here later today. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are the best of the best this year, and here they are. The Cowboys have a chance to do something. So if you can walk around, you can be hesitant if you want, but let's do it. Let's this is what it's all about. So again, I don't ever tell people how to be a fan, because everyone kind of does it their own way. But you know what? It's the way I am. If I get let down, I get let down. But I'm going to be excited about it, because this team right here, they haven't lost 28 straight years of not going to the championship game or the Super Bowl. Not this team. This team's 12-5. So I think a lot of times we're putting that on the team because of what the history of it. But this team has done everything that they're supposed to do. They're a 12-5 football team. They're right here, ready to go, and one of the best teams in the NFL. So knocking down the door for a chance to go to the Super Bowl. All right, got a lot of stuff here. The text messages, I'll try to read one of these. This is from Mike in Boston. Do you think Gilmore will be able to play to the point where he can bump receivers to the line is going to be 50%? Or do you think a 50% chance that Gilmore is better than 100%? Nashawn Wright. Got it. Sorry. Do you think a 50% Gilmore is better than 100% Nashawn Wright? I don't think it's going to be 50%. I don't think he'll be at 50. I don't think a week before the game he can say, I'm definitely playing, and he'll be at 50%. It'll be better than that. No, I do not think a 50% Gilmore is better than 100% Nashawn Wright. But I think it'll be higher than that, and I think he plays. That's really what I think. Another text question here. Don't have a name. We don't read them if we don't have names. Let's see. Hold on.
Champ.
I'm sorry. Champ in 308. Got it. I know I'm getting ahead of here, but if we win the ultimate prize, do you guys get rings as part of the organization? Also, what's your favorite book that you've written and why? I don't know about the rings. There's a lot of things we just don't know. Like, I've been here a long time, but we talked a little bit yesterday about Super Bowl plans, if that happens. I mean, not really plans, but just trying to organize, trying to figure out what we do, how do we function. And there's just a lot of things nobody really knows. The last time the Cowboys have gone, they probably had 300 to 400 less employees than they do now. I mean, it was just a different time, different era. I mean, nobody's had a cell phone when the Cowboys went to the Super Bowl. I mean, that's simple as that. So you think about how things are different across the board, they're different. I don't know about that. I don't know if we get rings. Maybe. I would imagine, but I don't know. Favorite book and why? Man, probably
It's like picking your children.
I mean, yeah. I mean, because you don't. Well, in this case, though, I don't know if I get any of them without the first one. So the book I wrote on Art Briles, that one probably. That one was that was really that, because once you do that, you're an author and you can't ever take that away. And I was able to do that. And that book means a lot to me. But also, the one Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Texas too. That was an idea that I just stood on the table for, and I shopped it around and finally got a publisher, HarperCollins, as a publisher to buy in. And that one was an interesting idea. Just bad luck with the game, with the times and the season the Cowboys had and some of the other schools had. But I thought that one was was one that I really like. But yeah, I like all of them, honestly. So thank you for saying that out there. All right, let's go to Alan. He's in Long Island, New York.
Nick, good morning. I just want to say to all the Cowboy fans in the world, let's take this one game at a time. There's guys there's guys out there talking about the championship game, and I get it. Like, you haven't been there in the 30 years you've been on in the organization. You haven't even been to one. Let's not even talk about that. Let's not talk about the divisional round. Let's just focus on the Packers, one game at a time. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. They are a legit team, and we are a good team as well. And should we beat them on paper? Yeah, but the game's not played on paper. Okay, game's played on Sunday. So let's just focus on the Packers. Let's focus on Jordan Love and Aaron Jones, who's been known to run against us. So let's just keep it simple, 1 week at a time. Let's enjoy the ride, not talk about the draft. And also, I love the hires you guys made. Nick Harris, the youth he brings, love him.
Yep.
Nosey Walker is a real one. I love Nosey. But like Nick Harris keeps saying on Talking Cowboys, I see it, I don't see why we wouldn't win these next two games. Like, don't even say that, Nick. Please, don't say that. Let's just focus on the Packers. Please, I beg you. And that's all I want to say. Great job, as always, you and Chris, and talk to you next time.
Thank you. I hear what you're saying. I mean, you're right. You're right. And again, this goes down to what everybody's kind of a fan in their own way. I mean, it's hard not to be excited because just when you say that's what being the number 2 seed is. Being the number 2 seed is getting a home game for at least 2 of them if you can win. And so, that's kind of where it is. I mean, the Cowboys are destined to be, like where they haven't been in 28 years in the championship game. They've got to win 2 more home games. They're 8-0. I don't know if it's getting ahead of yourselves. I mean, you can't win one without the other. You can't win 4 games if you don't win one. We get it. Everybody understands that. And so I think I didn't listen to what Nick said, but I know him well, and I agree. I think he's been a great addition to our team. And I think that what he's saying is I mean, they should win this game. And if they win, they should win the next one. That's what's in front of them. That's how big this stage is for them right now. That's where they are, is that they are in a position where they are the favorites to be in the championship game. The only thing that's going to stop them is themselves. And, that's just where it is. I don't think, we're not the ones getting ready for the game. The team's getting ready. If the players go out in the locker room today and start talking about, winning 2 or 3 games in a row, then, you can chastise them. But, I just think we're trying to figure out how big this stage is, and that's how big the stage is that the Cowboys have something really special in front of them. All right, Mike in Houston.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, Mike. How you doing?
Man. Good, man. Hey, love your show. I actually had a chance to meet you in Houston. I was stalking Cowboys at a hotel there and got a chance to meet you. And you're very nice and very cordial. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, hey, got a real quick question. So, I was a Romo guy, and, I see that now Dak is doing a lot more at the line of scrimmage, a lot of changing plays, putting guys in positions and stuff. And I didn't see a lot of that last year. So is that, part of the Kellen Moore moving away and having Mike giving him more authority to do that? And I'll hang up and listen. Random player, Rolando McClain.
That's funny you said that. I just mentioned him. Thanks, Mike, for the call. And that feels like a first-time caller. I don't know. What do you think, Chris? No? Mike? Anyways, he can get it here. Why not? If not, hey, good call. It's funny you said that about Rolando McClain. We were just talking about him. I mentioned him yesterday because every time our team of writers, our group would get together for something, whether it just be a lunch, a birthday lunch, or just, have to go cover something all as a group, there would be some kind of story that would break. And we were talking about the time we covered the World Cup watch party was at AT&T Stadium. Had a suite on field level. We were watching it on the jumbo, 2014 or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but a World Cup year, and U.S. was playing, and it was late. Everyone was really excited about it. They probably went as far as they've been in a while. And of course, story broke while we were there just trying to watch it, and Cowboys have signed Rolando McClain, and so we were there in a suite, all Hellman, me, Rob Phillips, all trying to figure that out. But yeah, Rolando McClain was a guy that from the press box view, doesn't matter how high you were, when he made the tackle, you knew it was his tackle. Because there was no run after, contact when he made the hit. He was tall and lanky. Man, he could hit. And he was the guy that hit Jason Witten and broke his spleen or whatever, in that game, in a preseason game back in 2012 with the Raiders. Hit him so hard that's where he suffered that injury. Didn't keep him out of a regular season game, but definitely a big hit. All right. Let's go, Rob, in Vegas.
Hey, Nick. Here we go.
Here we go.
This is why you lift all those weights.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, listen, I know the fans, I'm nervous, but I'm excited. I mean,
yeah.
This is what they're built for. This is what, if I told you were going to pencil this in before the season, second seed, home field, let's go. We take it right now.
Yeah.
We are where we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
We're the better team. The only thing that makes you nervous is we see the future. Like you said, they should beat this team. If we bring our A game, we're going to blow this team off the field. And we should beat the next team. So, of course, you look forward. And I agree with the other caller. We got to take this game one by one. Green Bay is not, a slouch. But listen, we should be more. I haven't been this excited about a team since the 90s. All the other teams, the Romo teams, and even the Dak rookie, they had flaws on defense. This team doesn't have a lot of flaws.
Right.
I mean, you're rolling with you got the most important position right now as quarterback. He's the best in the NFC. We've never had that going into the playoffs. I mean, we are just rocking and rolling. So I just want the fans to be excited. And I think Dak, you saw it when he wouldn't put the hat on. I know it sounds dumb, but Dak's been there. Dak's a veteran now in the playoffs. This will be his sixth, his seventh, I believe.
Seven. I think he's 2 and 4. Yeah, you're right.
He's a veteran. He understands, and I just think this team is ready. I think this team, maybe they caught a break with Philly collapsing, but they had to win, their games. And I think the Cowboys are they're just ready. Like I said the other day, 12-5 is great 3 years in a row. But if you don't build on that, it's just 12-5 regular season, and you lose at the playoffs. I think this team understands that. I think they're ready to rock and roll, and I think they're going to just beat down Green Bay. I just do.
Yeah.
And I'm just excited. I think they just got to do their thing. Sure, I would love Mike McCarthy to get on the phone like Jimmy and guarantee a win. I love stuff like that, but no, this team is ready to roll. I don't think it's nervous. In the past, it was nervous that we thought we were going to lose. Now I think it's nervous excitement because we expect to win.
Right, and that's
why.
Go ahead, Rob.
And that's why being a fan, I always laugh. My friend is like a Chicago Bears. I said that's easy. If you guys get 3-4 wins, you're happy. As a Cowboy fan, as a Patriots fan, I'm sure with Tom Brady, it's Super Bowl or bust. So it's tough. When you're rooting for good teams, could you just expect more? When we would lose, I remember when Romo got hurt years ago, like in the fourth game, and then they brought the back. I watched those games with my feet kicked up. Okay, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Where now, I sit 3 feet away from a 75-inch TV, and I'm just throwing a football and going crazy because it's just different. But that's fun. You wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
The alternative is you're playing golf or
right.
you're not even watching. So no,
I'm excited. I can't wait. And here we go.
All right, Rob. Appreciate that. Rob in Vegas. Good.
How about them Cowboys?
Let's keep it going here. We got Bob. He's in Rio Grande Valley. Bob, what's up?
You know, when you're rooting.
How you doing this morning, Nick?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
Good, great show.
Thank you.
There's a couple of games that our opponents that we have to play occasionally that means a lot to us Cowboy fans down here in the Valley. And winning it is very important. I think you guys don't realize this. I didn't realize before I moved to the Valley the number of winter Texans that we have down here. In Florida, they call them snowbirds.
Yeah.
Here they're called winter Texans. And, boy, the number of people that we have from Wisconsin, Michigan, and Minnesota every winter. And they're so important to our economy, and we welcome them, and we're glad to have them.
Yeah.
But they bring their football loyalties with them, and the worst ones that you want to lose to is, by God, the damn Packers. Go Cowboys this weekend. Green Bay has put together a pretty good little team up there.
Yeah.
They're solid. They're not a great team. They don't have a lot of superstars, but they're blue collar. They'll chip at you and chip at you and chip at you and keep coming and keep coming and keep coming. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward to 60 minutes of hard-played football. I think the Cowboys are going to come out on top about 38-20 or 24. And in doing so, they're going to give me bragging rights for the rest of the winter.
Yeah.
You guys have a great week. Oh, by the way, my favorite Cowboy, Marion Barber. God rest him.
All right.
He was blue collar, buddy.
Boy.
He'd get you 3, he'd get you 4. When he went down, he was still turning and he was still fighting.
Yeah.
And that kind of reminds me of the defense that we've got right now with the Cowboys, and also with our offense. You guys have a great week, great show, and thank you for taking my call.
Thanks, Bob. Appreciate that. Boy, they could use a runner like Marion Barber right now. Playoff type, games. Big time. When it gets into this part of the season, every yard counts. Everything matters. And so, yeah, you could use a runner like that. He was definitely special for sure. Well, I hope you get those bragging rights. And it's one thing's for sure. There's going to be a lot of Packer fans at the game. I mean, they're everywhere. They travel. They stand out. Obviously, their color just pops out, especially when you're doing a whiteout in the stands. So there'll be some Packer fans there for sure. But at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know how many times you could say it. I mean, I can't wait for this game to get here, because it just feels like there's no other way to say it. I mean, the Cowboys, they gotta do what they do. You're right. I mean, the Green Bay's here for a reason. They're going to be gritty, pesky, all that stuff. They're not going to be afraid. They've gone into Arrowhead Stadium and they've won this year. And they've won games on the road now. Pretty bad officiating call there that probably helped them win, but whatever. We've been there. We've seen all that, both sides. So, hey, there's nothing else to say about that. I mean, let's go. Let's get this thing done. All right, Danny, he's in San Lorenzo, California.
Good morning, Nick. How you doing? Thanks for taking the call. Enjoy your show, and I think we got this one right. But first of all, I want to say about Green Bay, I was there the last time we lost that game against Green Bay. The ghost of Aaron Rodgers is dead. He's dead. And I just want to say that the way I've been looking at things and seeing how things is lining up, remember when we were supposed to play New Orleans, when we had Jalen Smith and Van Der Esch and the guy from Chicago missed that field goal. We supposed to went to New Orleans.
Yeah. Yep.
And so we ended up going to L.A. I felt like we could have beat New Orleans that first playoff game.
Yeah.
Then that next game, we ended up going against the 49ers. 49ers wasn't supposed to be in that 7th seed. And some kind of way we lined up and they came in and beat us. I was at that game.
Yeah.
But this game here, it finally landed right. they could say that was a bad call, but we didn't have bad calls on each other's side.
Sure.
But this the first time it lined up right for us. We got Green Bay. We were supposed to be Green Bay, and we got Green Bay. So I feel good about this one because I think we need to say something to Mr. Aaron Jones about the way he went into that end zone on us.
Yeah.
Jalen Tolbert didn't grow up.
Yeah, that's right.
So I just wanted to say that there, like I say, this is the way it's supposed to be. And I really feel good about this because, and like I said, this team got the talent to go all the way. And I think that's what we're looking at right now. So everything is lining up for us right now. I'm from a little town outside of Waco, Texas. I grew up. I stay out here right up under all these 49ers fans. I came to California in 1977, and that Cowboy star still flies high out here.
Nice. Danny, I got something for you.
Okay.
First time caller. Thank you. Good job, Chris.
I love it. Love your show. Have a good day.
Right.
Go Cowboys.
All right.
Blue, blue.
There we go. Danny living it up out there in California, all those 49er fans. Good luck to you on that one. All right, let's keep it going here. Michael, Colton, California, another California. What's up?
Yes, sir. What's going on? Shout out to the whole Cowboys Nation. Good morning to everybody. And how about them Cowboys?
All right.
But, how about them Cowboys?
Chris is just on the buttons today, man. He's just been punching buttons over there.
Hey, Chris does a great job, man.
Definitely.
Shout out to Chris, too. Hey, hey, Nick, thank you for taking my call. But, man, I'm so excited and I'm so nervous. And I'm so excited. I just want to get to it.
Anxious is the word.
There you go.
Excitement,
yes,
nervous is anxious.
There you go. Okay. I'm a little worried about Aaron Jones, man. That guy has always been a problem. It's the put up or shut up time, you know. There's been naysayers, and I'll be the first to say I've always said I hope I'm wrong because I'll be the first one to say that I was dumb for saying what I say, you know.
Yeah.
But man, I just feel that the ball's in our court and all the stars are aligned, and it's time to handle business, man. And I'm just really excited for this game this week, and I hope Marquise Bell and Damone Clark, they could step up and contain Aaron Jones. And I'm going to go ahead and hang up. Thank you for taking my call, and you have a great day.
Thanks, Michael. Appreciate that. Yeah, Aaron Jones has been he's been hot lately here. He's got more rushing yards in the last 3 games than he did all season before that. So I think he's got 340-something yards the last 3 games. Very consistent, 100-yard games. So they figured something out there with him, and you know they've won 3 in a row, guys. But they beat Carolina by 3. They beat the Vikings on the road, and then I think they beat the Bears. So their schedule kind of favored them a little bit down the stretch. But you know, give them credit for what they've done. They're a young football team. Green Bay's a young team. I think they're the youngest team in the league. Like I said, they don't have a lot of star power right now. They've got some young players that probably will be, you know, throughout the years. But as you know, as they get a little bit more experienced, but they're here now, and you know, like I said, they're not going to be afraid of the moment, and they're not going to be afraid of the Cowboys. But the Cowboys are going to have to just bring it. I've said it 5 times, said it 10. You know, I think the better teams got to show up. You got to execute. You got to be able to rise to the occasion. And this is it. This is the playoffs. It's on a different level. 8-0 in regular season is great at home, but you know you got to be 10-0, maybe 11. You know, who knows if they get 3 games? Nothing's guaranteed right now. But like some of the other callers said, can't win 3 games if you don't win 1. So it starts this week with Green Bay. Good stuff, though. Good stuff. 13 calls today. You guys are great. Got to hear from a lot of you know old friends there that have called over the years. Got some first-time callers as well. Great mix. Good stuff. Got Cowboys break coming up here. Got shows all day long like normal. So stick with us on that. But we'll see you tomorrow. For Chris Beam, I'm Nick Eatman. We'll see you on Cowboys Storyline. See you.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!